Real talk, real impact, unfiltered and unapologetic. This is FemmeIcon.
Hey everyone, Assalamu alaikum. This is Mahvish Akhtar, and I'm here with another episode of FemmeIcon. First of all, I'm going to apologize for just not being here for so long, and I know that we had a few scheduled in between, and we canceled them. I was out of town, and I know that the idea was to keep doing them from wherever I was. That just didn't work out that way because, on vacation, it just wasn't working out. I just, we planned them, and then, I had plans, and then I figured I'll do it from wherever I am, and you know how it is when you're on vacation. It just doesn't happen. So yeah, I hope you guys can hear me okay, because I've been told many, many times that I talk too low. I don't know how to scream. So I do have my headphones. They're not so great. I'm working on a better set of mic and all that. So yeah, hey Becky and Hamda, great to have you here. Our topic today is our image in the world, and what that means is, what is the definition of our image? What is our image to us? What is our image to what it means to the world? And what parts of it are important to put out? And how do we put that out? And we're going to talk about it in terms of more realistically, more practically. We're not going to... hi Sahib. We're going to be a little bit existential and a little bit, spiritual about it, but we're also going to be practical about it. And we'll just go ahead and wait a little bit for other people to join in. And then we'll take a lot of water breaks. As y'all know, those of you who are regulars here, that I do that. But yeah, because it's important to stay focused. It is important to know yourself, to know the inside, to know who you are very well. And we talk about self-confidence in that way, self-love. And the air quotes don't mean that I don't believe in that. I do. I thoroughly believe in that. Because you can't achieve anything. You can't get to the core of anything if you don't believe in yourself. If you're not doing any of that with that belief that I can achieve it, I can get there, right? However, there has to be an amount of I can make others believe in me. I can look like I'm capable. Do you know? That's also quite important. So that's what we're going to talk about. And we're going to also kind of delve into how much of that do we need to do. Sometimes we go too far. Sometimes it's not enough. Some people are too humble, I believe. Some people are too, oh no, it was a team effort. And some people are too, I did that. All me. So, and we're not just talking about in terms of work. Of course, we're talking about in terms of everything, our social lives and our, how much we take in, how much we give, just in general, the energy we put out. So we're going to be discussing everything. There are a few things I want to say before we start, because it's been a while for me, but I haven't been here in a bit. First thing is, sorry about the not ironed scarf. I hope you guys can hear me. Let me know if my voice cuts out or, if there's any disturbance. And your comments and questions, go ahead and throw them out. If I can answer them while I'm talking, I'll go ahead and do that. Or I'll just put, note them down here so that I can work them in either at the end or when the topic comes up, while we're in the middle of it. So just don't wait till the end or and sometimes, you guys bring up points that I haven't even thought about. So it's good to work those in. So yeah, So I want to apologize for my scarf. I usually recently I iron them, but we haven't even unpacked. Like I'm just being, this jet lag thing is, throwing me off. It's completely all over the place. So I just kind of pulled something out that kind of sort of matched and I've also been told over and over again by so many people that I look like I'm not having fun and I don't want to be here. I definitely want to be here because, as you guys know, I put these things together. I decided that I want to do this. So yeah, I want to be here. It's the end of the day and I'm kind of, so that's why my face looks like, like I'm dying. But yeah, I want to be here. And I also kind of have this face all the time, even if it's daytime. I don't know how to smile. I haven't mastered that yet. So that's also a thing. And on a more serious note, our website is down. These days we're having technical difficulties that are lasting longer than they should. And hello to everybody who's just joined us. It's a lot of names. I see you, I recognize you. I'm not going to try and say all of them. It's going to take us a bunch of time already. I'm already taking a lot of time talking about nonsense. So our website's been down for a while. I know it's not a good look, but it is not something that's in our control. We're trying to work it out with the people that are, handling our stuff, not our IT people, but, I don't know, the people. And we're just working nonstop on that. In the meantime, our socials are available, our services, our wellness service, our FemCart is working. All of our, vendors and clients on businesses on FemCart are available. Please contact us. We will get you in touch with all of the vendors. And again, wellness services are available. And we're here. We're on. We're fully available. And we will start putting our articles on our socials. The problem with that is people don't like to read a whole lot on social media, so it's kind of difficult. What we are doing though is getting our YouTube channel working. So that's coming up very soon. That was going to happen regardless. So now we're going to speed that up and that's going to be fun. We're going to have some fun things coming up over there. Keep watching the rest of our socials, platforms, social platforms. It's getting kind of late for me. And we will have some very interesting stuff on there. So yeah. All right. So now we're going to get back to our topic. So the topic is our image and what we portray to the world. Are those two different? For sure. Definitely. And like I said, confidence, self-confidence, self-love, knowing yourself definitely matters. Do we want the exact same thing? The world to see the exact same thing? Sorry. Left the frame for a minute. Do we want the world to see the exact same thing? Or do we want the world to see something different? Now you're going to answer that for yourself. And you know what? Whatever the answer is, that's okay. I see a lot of old friends and new friends, and hello to all of you. So, it's okay to have a different answer. Whoever you are inside, it's okay to know yourself completely. Actually, you should know yourself completely and thoroughly. Own your flaws. Own whoever you are. And then decide, hey, I don't want the world to know that about me. I'm okay that I do this. I'm okay that I'm this person. But I don't want the world to know about that. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to define what image is. Because we're talking about our image, showing our image to the world. What is image? So I'm just going to go on dictionary real quick. And if you guys can do that, go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong anywhere in there. All right. So a physical likeness, this is going to be a definition that's kind of solid. which is a physical likeness, a portrait, a photograph, a painting, anything of that sort, right? That's an image. So that would be something that you think of when you think of a person. It's the first thing that pops in your head. So if you hear my name, what pops in your head? For most of you who don't know me personally, what pops in your head is a picture of me. So when you thought of, oh, we have a talk today by Mahvish Akhtar, you saw that picture that was on that poster, right? On that little post. That was me. That was my image that you had of me. And for the rest of you, when you heard, oh, Mahvish has a live today, what popped in your head? Whatever I have portrayed to you, first of all, of me, and then the rest of what you have made, you have learned about me over the years, over time, whatever you've found me to be, a mixture of that. So that's an image. That's a complete image of a person, right? And if you go on to read, I've actually done this before. So a mental representation, idea, or concept of a thing, of a person. So here we're talking about people. So a person. It's a form. It's a full form. So that can be of yourself and of a person. That's two parts that we're going to separate it in. So our image of ourselves comes first. And we're saying this again and again. How do we make an image of ourselves? What do we have to do? We start out with our surroundings, right? We start out in a childhood from our parents. We learn what they say to us, how they talk to us, what they tell us, how they talk about us to others, what environment is being created. And then we grow into that. And then as a society, we grow into what role we're playing as female or male, or now there's, it's not something that we need to be talking about, but we are now talking about because now it's like, oh, is this person gay? Or are they married to this other person? Are they married? So, now we're talking about all of that. So all of that is mixed into what image we have of ourselves. And in that, we have some good qualities, we have bad qualities. All of that is a part of it, right? Now, what is image and what is self-confidence? Is self-confidence part of our image? Think about that for a second. Because sometimes it gets confusing in terms of, I have an image of myself. Is the image that I have is being self-confidence and liking myself part of is me being confident of myself part of that self-image, or is that something separate? I'm confident of my image. That's different. That's not part of my image. For myself, it's not. For others, it will be. But for me, that's a separate entity. My image to myself is whatever is made up of everything that I've grown up with, and some innate qualities, genetic, makeup, as we know. But the self-confidence, that is separate, also made up of everything that I know, everything that I've learned, and my genetic makeup. But that's different. That is me being confident in everything that I know, everything that I've, built up over the years and what I've been taught. So now you and I, all of us, have to decide, are we confident in the image that we've built for ourselves? The world is going to come in a minute. First, it's us. Are we confident in that? Are we ready? Are we okay to show everything that we are? And we've decided, we've seen, we know. We just said it's okay. It's okay to not show everything to the world because we don't need to. Who says we have to? Nobody. And nobody wants to. Nobody said it. And we're going to talk about that in a minute too. But right now, who we are we okay? Are we confident enough in that? With our flaws, with things that we've done over time, with what we've, put out in the world. I mean, put out as in our work, or our thoughts and our opinions and things that we do so far. I hope it's not too confusing so far what I'm trying to say. And if it is, please tell me. I can clarify, or, if you have something to add to it, go ahead. Like, do we feel that we are presentable to the world? The world around us, will it accept us as who we are without any changes? That's self-confidence. That's not part of us. That's a separate entity. Do we feel all of us will be accepted to the world? So while you're thinking about it, let's ask that other or two other big questions. If we feel that, we're perfectly fine the way we are, would we change? No, I'm saying it wrong. World works in a lot of different ways, right? Because this is a complicated topic and I don't want to get it wrong, because this is extremely important to understand. So we have a perception of ourselves. Some parts of it are perfectly fine. I think I'm brave. I think I'm quite headstrong, right? I think I'm pretty. Throwing things out there. I think I'm stubborn, and that sometimes goes against my own well-being many times, and goes in my favor a lot of times. I think I'm difficult, and there's many other things like this goes on. How much of it works with a streamlined society? And would I want the world to see it? Would I change for the world? Would you change a lot of your qualities for the world to have the world's perspective of you be favorable? Or are you the type of person who would be like, I don't care, I'm whatever. I am who I am. I can keep butting heads with the world. So these are the two big questions. Yeah, so Majid is saying I'm in complex, what can do? So in complex, by that you mean that you want to fit into the world, right? Like you want to conform with society. And that is what we were getting at. So how much of it, so you feel like you want to change to fit into the society, into whatever is our version, society's version of us should be. That's what you should become. That's what you should be. So here's what practically I'm going to say what my opinion is, and I feel like should be happening in most cases, in all cases, is that, we should conform with society, with the place that we live in, with the people around us. There are rules, there are customs, there are practices that we should all be following. Of course, why not? There are many things that I feel like that are okay with me, that I do, that I feel are completely reasonable and are okay, that go against the mainstream in whichever society I'm in. And I do that, I live by that generally in my life, but I feel like it's okay to conform, to not make waves all the time. In my personal life, I apply those. But if somebody wants to live in a certain way, if somebody wants to, other people are doing that. All of everybody is following certain way of life, and it's not hurting anybody. It's not harming anyone. It's not getting in anybody's way. I will conform. For example, there are dress codes in certain places. I don't believe in them, but I'm not going to fight it. if it doesn't go against my, core beliefs, if I'm not doing something that I feel like it's going to throw me in hellfire or it's going to get me in huge amounts of trouble or anything else like that, I'll conform. Right? I'll wear red if everybody's wearing red. I mean, I like the color. I'm just saying. If you are a person who doesn't like red, and there's a lot of different rules like that. I'm not a huge certain type of. There are certain things I don't do. There are certain things I don't. I may not even approve of. But if they're not a matter of values or religion for me, I'll do it. Because and it's not because I want to please people. It's because it's okay to be part of a group. It's okay to mingle. It's okay to become part of society, part of a culture. Let's try it. Why not? Right? It is not necessary for you to be a strong and independent person to always be making trouble, always be, a person like me, for example. Most of the things that I believe in, most of the things that, most of my way of life, most of my way of living and what I've chosen to do with my life has been against the grain. It's always been, I have questioned everything. Along with doing that, I have understood that there is a way to. I've gone rogue as well, but that there's a way to also not make waves in the wrong way, not always rub people. And I know that I rub a lot of people the wrong way, and that's okay too, because you can't be a people pleaser. So without being a people pleaser, you can do things that you want to do and also just conform. If there are issues with lengths in school uniform, and you feel that women should not have to worry about how they dress because of men, and the idea of a dress code is because the administration thinks that women should be dressed more modestly because men will be attracted and that will be a problem. That's absolutely not true. Absolutely not. Those men, those boys should have better control on themselves. True. Those men should know better. The administration should know better. Women should not be blamed for wearing a skirt that's 2 inches too short for what kind of acts that, whatever evil is going on in those boys' minds. And those boys should be controlled. Those boys should be punished for their acts. However, I don't think that it should be such a big deal. I mean, rules should be changed. It should be discussed. It should be, talked about on how we control the boys, how we get them to fix their behavior. But I do believe that the girls should conform as well. Wearing skirts 2 inches long is not the end of the world. See, this is where these things come in, where it's just like, oh my God, how dare you ask a woman to do something that she doesn't want to. But see, the thing is that I'm also saying that the boys should have some repercussions also. Conform to society. Limit both sides from crossing certain lines so these things don't occur. Don't blame one side. Absolutely not. So that's where conforming comes in. But when it comes to taking what you need and what is yours and raising your voice against any kind of injustice, no matter who it's against, I'm all for not caring at all. Like me saying this right now, as someone who advocates for women, as someone who stands up for women's rights, that's a crime, right? Y'all know that. That's a crime. A lot of you probably are triggered by this right now and probably are thinking, how could she say that? Oh my God, I'm unfollowing right now. But see, that is the whole thing. That I am in favor of women wearing whatever they want, wherever they want. But I'm also in favor of not making useless, absolutely useless issues out of things that are not going to benefit us in any way. Because we get focused on small things, make those the issue. I'm just speaking now in general. And then the big problem that we have, that setup of patriarchy, that setup of men being in charge and just giving us little spots and moving us around, that keeps happening. Because we stay distracted with these little things where it's like, oh, the skirt was too small, and then you did this here and you did that there, and then they keep playing the big game. So these little things need to be let go, and we need to concentrate on the bigger picture, which we don't look at. So that was just an example. Moving on. Now, which situation do we stand up in? And this was an example from my perspective. That might not be an example from your perspective, where you conform. There's many other places. Yeah, thank you for your agreement, but it's okay to disagree as well, and we can talk about that, because these are just like this is an open and safe space for everybody, and I want everybody to be able to give your opinion. And if you have a disagreement, that's also absolutely okay, and actually great, because we want to hear different voices. We want to hear people with different opinions, and we want them to be able to talk to us, and it's important to open a dialogue with our male counterparts as well, to hear what they have to say. Because what's happened in these kind of situations, and again, it's kind of off topic, is that we don't hear what they have to say. We don't hear what they are feeling or thinking. And then these gaps that we have are not closing, and they're getting bigger and bigger, and the problem is just growing constantly. So, and I appreciate that. Thank you for the confirmation. Sometimes you need that, because anytime you open your mouth about these things, it's always to say, oh my God, you said something against women. How dare you? So yeah, then the decision, but has to be the individual's decision on what things you're going to conform about and what things you're going to practically take a stand on. Because it's your image that you're portraying to the world, right? This is the world that you have to live in. That individual has to decide what level of confidence, what level of pushback that a person can take. So, for example, for somebody like me, I'm ready for more of a pushback, because I'm ready to do this job. I'm here to do this job of wanting to protect women in general, as many as I can, and wanting to create this wave to raise awareness about women's issues, right? So in order to do that, I have to take on more enemies, and I have to take on more of, hold on, I'm saying this, but my purpose is this. So whatever hate comes towards me and towards, my colleagues and people who work with me, we're going to have to be more so ready for that, right? But other people, they might just be like, you know what, this is not worth the fight. I might have to just let it be and move on from it and just do what I can personally to navigate this and not speak up. And then this conformity in a workplace, you might have some opinions, and you might not speak them out loud because you gotta work. You don't gotta get into politics, into whether it's workplace politics or actual politics, or you don't want to get into other issues. You leave it alone. That's conformity. You have your elders. They're voicing their opinions many times. You're just like gee, and it's okay. All of that is okay. So you're portraying a side of yourself that may not be very, very accurate, but you're doing it because you want to keep the peace. And that's completely okay. So practically speaking, we can't always be like, oh, show your true self and have confidence in yourself. you can still have confidence in yourself and be proud of every part of you and conform. That is okay. And a lot of times, that's why I wanted to, actually have this talk, is a lot of times we think and we feel and we have guilt about the fact that I believe in certain things. I am a certain way, but I don't always say it. I don't always show it. That doesn't make you a bad person. That doesn't make us a bad person. That just makes us a smart person. Because you can't go through life picking fights with everybody and being in arguments all the time. And that's not the way to live life. I'm sorry, you had said something just here, Nasiba. Dialogues with our male counterparts is extremely important. I've been saying this all over Twitter. You know what? You are absolutely right. Actually, we do that here. We, if you go to our YouTube channel on FemmeIcon, actually we're here as well. I don't know if you've seen that episode where we had a talk on misogyny with two very intelligent and dear friends of mine on male friends on this topic on misogyny and what they think it means and how it affects men and what those men who actually are not misogynistic and have always been allies and how they feel attacked even though they've never done anything to attack women and to have tried to support women. Even they have a hard time with it, And so we need to have more dialogues. We need to have more open dialogues. And what we've started to do as women, and I know that it's been difficult for us. I know we've had a hard time with it. I know we've had, the way we've grown up, the way we've been, treated and dealt with, is that anytime these topics come up about women and about how, we're being treated and any issue, any discussion, anything happening anywhere, it becomes hard to be objective about it or imagine that it could be us on the wrong side of it. But it can happen. So we just have to keep an open mind. Or if ever, a man says, okay, oh, it could be her fault, we just get aggravated. It happens to me too. If ever my husband or my brother or any guy says like, well, उसकी गलती नहीं, उसने हो सकता है उसने कुछ कह दिया, and I'm just like, oh my god, are you seriously saying that right now? So that's specific. And then when we speak like that, they usually tend to just like shut down because they're like, okay, I'm not going there, I'm not having that. But we need to control that and let them speak and see where they go with that. And sometimes something good comes out of it, and our reaction is not wrong because we've been through these things where we've been shut down, even when we're trying to say something good, even when we're trying to be helpful or we actually need help and we've been shut down. So, it comes from a normal place, from a place of need and hurt. But it's not always the right reaction because not everybody is trying to hurt us. Not everybody is trying to, sometimes they've been wronged and we need to just listen. How was their reaction? Well, I mean, it was a whole talk like this, but it's a 3-way talk. So I feel like if you go listen to it, you can go on our YouTube channel, Femmerang's YouTube channel, or you could over here if you go on archives, you'd be able to find it. But it was interesting. It was a lot of fun. Because we keep everything candid here, like everything is fair game. We talk about everything, good, bad, negative. It is always very interesting. And they were very open to talking about things. And so we had a good one. So we were talking about what kind of image and how it is okay to portray whatever image you want and whatever you want to keep in. And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't always want the world to know everything about it. But there are some things that are... So right now, we've just been superficial about the things that you want to, that you want to portray and that you don't want to portray. And we've been talking about our own self-confidence. We've been talking about what, how we see ourselves and how we would want the world to see, and how we would want that to mesh. And so a lot of the things that we would want, that would be important, right? The things that we want to conform on, and the things that we would stand up for are very similar. Like religion would be one thing. We would not, we would conform in our society over religion. We would not pick a fight with somebody over, our religion. If the beliefs are similar, if we're living within the same religious community or society, we're not going to pick a fight over that. We're going to mostly conform. Values, customs, family system, all of that are not things we're going to pick a fight over. Usually we're going to conform. On the other hand, if somebody is messing with those things, if somebody is tearing them apart, you would think that that's where we would draw the line. And that is where we draw the line. That is where our image is being rattled, right? So what image are you going to want to portray when somebody questions your core belief system? What are you going to do? What kind, when somebody questions you as a person, when somebody questions your core value, somebody questions your innate self, that's where it becomes tricky, right? That's where it becomes tricky on you knowing exactly who you are. On you understanding yourself inside and out, and then explaining yourself to somebody else. See, we don't explain ourselves in the way where we're going to say, okay, so this is what I believe in, this is who I am, this is what I'm gonna be doing in my future, and this is what I've done. No. We explain ourselves in the way of how we dress, how we talk, the things we do, just by being. So if somebody sits in front of us and in their own way questions our core beliefs, whether they're religious beliefs or values, or our family or connection to our family, whatever it may be, that we really give importance to, and that doesn't mesh with what we have tried to put out. That's not the image that we've tried to put out. And something different got put out. Completely different. I'm really, really far away from the camera now. But I do want to sit back. So I'm going to pull myself forward. Do this. Yeah. What do you do then? Because we talked about how what image we have of ourselves is different from what we're putting out to the world. And that's okay. But when someone shakes that, what do we do? When someone questions that, that's where our confidence in ourselves, our belief, what we talked about earlier, do we have enough confidence in our self-image, our image for ourselves, who we are? Is that strong enough to let that outside world's image be shaken? Or that person to say, what you're telling me about yourself, the way you're putting yourself out there, is not real. Regardless of how real or unreal that actually is, in that moment, so this is the real question. This is what it actually comes down to. In that moment, what is our reaction in that moment? Do we say, doesn't really matter to me what you're thinking of me right now? Because if I know who I am, I understand what I'm putting out there, and I also understand that I can't make every single person see me in a certain way. So I'm okay with who I am. I can't sit here and prove myself to you. Or do you get shaken by that and have the urge to make them see you the way you want them to see you? That's the real question, right? All of this, the image you've made, the image you want to make, the image you have of yourself, the way you see yourself, the way other people see you, all of that boils down to that one thing, is that you've set this thing up, you've made yourself a certain way, you make yourself the way you want yourself to be, the best you, which is how it should be. But then it comes down to that one point, is that person is saying in front of you, or the world, or your community, or your social, network, or whoever, or your workplace, or your boss, or whoever is saying, this is how you want the world to see you. No. Do you get shaken up by that? Do you change? Do you try to prove that that's not true? See, I can't answer that question for you, but that is something that we need to think about. Because then who are you? What's your perception of yourself? And what did you do all this for? So this was the reason for this whole talk. The reason wasn't to just tell you. We're talking in practical sense, because we do need to know that it's important to conform. It's important to make a life where you know how to work with other people and you know how to be a person who gets along with others. You can't constantly make a life where you're butting heads. And at the same time, you need to know, we all, including me, that, we have to have certain parts of ourselves that are just for us. And we live them how we want to, whether people agree with it or not, right? But then at the core of it all, what's important is what happens when that conflict comes in the middle. What happens when those two things are not matching? Do we have enough in ourselves? Enough. And what holds, and if we are able to hold that ground, if we are able to say, I'm not gonna change because you want me to, or I know what I'm about, so that's cool. I still like you though. You're a cool person. It's okay if you don't, agree with what I'm doing here. It's all good, right? So what happens in that moment? Do you get shaken, or are you just like, okay, I'm gonna move on from this. Great, thanks for letting me know that you don't approve of whatever I'm doing. Which one do you choose? Or are you a little bit shaken by it while you move on? So the people who are not shaken, all right, hang on. I think my reaction, so Nasiba was saying, I think my reaction would depend on the person, the type of argument, and the environment. So that's a very, very important and very good point. It does depend on the person that you're talking to. And it does depend how close you are to them, how well they know you. And yeah, the topic at hand, the particular discussion that you're having, all of that is absolutely very, very important in that particular mana irfan. All right. Okay. I don't know who you are, so if I knew you, I would definitely put you in the live, because we've done that before, and it's worked out great for us to just spontaneously have people in our life. But you kind of have to know who you are from before, personally, kind of some contact. I don't know who you are. I'm sorry. So yeah, that is extremely important, what you're saying about knowing the person and the reaction, because obviously if somebody knows you better and then they have that reaction, it will be a little more jarring and going to have more of an effect on you. But generally speaking, that will show to you is your own level of content in yourself, right? Your own level of content in who you are and what you've shaped yourself to be. So, of course, the closer you are to that person and the bigger that particular issue is or that particular topic is, the the more you probably will realize how disconnected you are to yourself. The less less you feel confident in yourself, kind of thing. So are you doing this, creating a self-worth, creating yourself for yourself, or are you creating this whole scenario for other people, only for other people? It is okay to create yourself for other people, because you do need to live within other people. You do need to make a living. You do need to have relations. You do need to, because that is what we're sent here for, right? We're not sent here to sit in a corner and pray if you believe in your religion. And we're not, if you don't believe in anything, that's fine too. Then we're supposed to be living in this world, regardless of whatever your belief system is. So bottom line is, what is happening in that situation is that you're realizing what your connection is, right? Is your connection solely to the world? Is your connection solely to yourself? Is your connection a mix? Or is your connection to yourself connecting you to the world? Is it going this way, to going out to the world? You believing in yourself completely and completely, thoroughly knowing who you are, inside and out, just solid. And then some of it, letting it out to the world. And you knowing that there is a divine truth, whether it be a religion, a value system, yourself, that is unchangeable, undeniable, that you're going to live for and die for. And whether the world sees it or doesn't see it, does not matter. You're going to show them what you want to show them. You're going to make them believe what you want to make them believe. And if they don't see it, they don't believe it, you will conform where you need to. You will not conform where you don't need to. And the rest, hey, you know who you are. So for those who are believers in a certain religion, whichever religion that may be, you have that connection with the divine, and you got that. Whatever God you have, whatever divinity, whatever you have, that for whom you are, making that image, or making that, that solidness of yourself. I call it being just completely solid. You're doing that. You're working on it. You keep working on it. You keep practicing being that person that you believe you want to be, or you are, and you keep honing in on it. And then you give a piece of that to the world, and you give complete 100% of that to, in my case, to Allah, completely 100% to God. Try to, at least. I'm not there yet. I'm nowhere near there yet. Give everything to Allah. Try to give everything to Allah, because I'm doing it for Him, and that is where my end game is that, right? Nobody lives forever. So you're even being in this world, living this world, doing whatever I do in this world is because my end game is that. So if somebody tells me, dude, you're not what you make yourself out to be. You're not doing this right. This is not how it's supposed to be. That's not how it's supposed to be. I'm like, you know what, dude? That's cool. Because through you, through my self-confidence, my end game is that. So I hope that connection was a little bit clear to you guys, and the practicality of it, where you need to conform, you need to work by the rules, you need to follow the laws, we need to do all of those things. And yeah, we hide ourselves. Don't let anybody see our flaws. Why would we do that? That's not smart. But if somebody's not believing in you, somebody's not believing in me, that's totally okay. I believe in myself. My Allah believes in me because I am trying, and He knows my heart. Right? That is self-confidence. That is self-love. I believe in all other forms of self-love, but true self-love is when you know that your Allah loves you, and you love Him back, and everybody needs somebody to love. When you have someone someone that powerful, that wonderful to love, and you have His love back, then, ultimate self-love, I say. I don't know. All right, so I think my reaction would depend on the person I'm dealing with. You said that, and there was something else. Did you say something else? I'm so sorry. Yeah. So that was the crux of it, and so yeah, I think improving yourself, our self-image, and what we are giving out to the world is really a matter of how much strength we have to really just keep going deeper and deeper into our own truth. And I don't like to use that word very lightly, and I don't like to use that word in the sense of, oh, my truth. There's only one truth, right? It's the truth, and that's it. One fact, one truth. So I don't mean it, and everybody has their own truth. No, I'm sorry. That's not how I think. I think I'm more of a, I don't know, a cynical person. I don't know what you would call that. So when I say the truth, I just mean that the truth in the world is only one of that. So when you find that and you just grasp onto that and you make yourself, your image in that, okay, I'm going to be a truthful person. I'm going to be a real person. And then you try to make yourself into that, and then you portray some of that, put out some of that into the world. After that, people could think whatever they want of you, right? Because you're being honest. You're putting some of the honesty that you have made your image in. You're putting that image, that honesty out there. And to be superficial, I would say that, be yourself in the sense, in the way you dress. Be pretty. That being honest with yourself and being truthful and the divinity and all of that I'm talking about, that doesn't mean that you can't look pretty, that you can't put on, you can't dress up, or you can't, because people take it in that way. And the reason I'm saying that, the reason I'm making it a little bit, as you would call it, superficial and a little bit frivolous, is that people take it in that way. A lot of people are just like, well, if you mean that I have to have my honest image and I have to portray myself as who I am, then you mean I have to just always speak the truth and always, be barefaced and all of that. Not really. I mean, you have to be honest. That you have to be. But your self-image is your identity, is the way you like to dress. You like color, you like makeup, you like dressing up, you like going out, you like shopping, you like things. All of that is a part of you. Make it a part of you. Make yourself you, completely you. Right? Like growing up, I wasn't into makeup. I didn't like doing all of that. I didn't. But as I'm aging, I'm realizing my skin, my face, my, dark circles, all of that is demanding that I do all that. So I do it. Now it's a part of me. You change, you evolve. I know that there's a way to dress at work. I know there's a way to dress at, at social events, at home. It's all different. That's a part of my identity. That's a part of my image. Keep your image. Make all of that part of your image. So all of that is part of being practical. And like I said, conform. This is conformity. You're not going to be like, I'm going to a shadi, but I'm just going to be in my jeans and t-shirt. No, you're not. Your inside, your personality, your own self really would want that. My own self would really want that. But you can't do that. So on a superficial level, that's conformity. You want to do that, but you can't. You can't make those kinds of waves, right? No. I really love what you said about the truth. There's only one truth. It doesn't make sense to say this is my truth or his truth. There cannot be multiple versions of the truth if it's the truth. Yeah. thanks, but that's really not me saying it. It's just a fact. And I think it's easier to say my truth and you can say that's how I feel. That's what I'm thinking, or I'm feeling, or these are my emotions, or this is what I'm going through. That would all be valid. Because nobody can deny you your emotions. Nobody can deny you what you were going through in that moment, in that, the process that's happening in your mind or in your heart. But facts can't be changed. And that's what we muddle up, and that's where the confusion happens, and it becomes difficult then to have an open and honest conversation and to communicate any kind of resolution, in my opinion. So anyway, that was the crux of the talk, and I did want to, what I just added, the superficial part at the end is very important, because a lot of people, when we're talking about self-image, and we're talking about, especially spiritually, when we're talking about self-image, we tend to completely overlook that part. Identity involves the way you look, the way you dress, the way you put yourself together. That is a part of your image. That is a part of, very important part of your self-confidence, on how you see yourself, how others see you, how you see yourself. Because the way you see yourself is how others see you too, right? That's what we were talking about the whole time. Like, you are letting others see and believe in who you are. So if you feel a certain way, if you feel that you are a colorful person, if you feel that you are a person who doesn't like to dress up and doesn't like to, that's how others will see you. And there is in any scripture, any book, any religious, divine religion, anywhere where it says that you can't express yourself through dressing up, through any, ornament, or setting yourself up, beautifying yourself. So do that. Whatever dress code, whether it's, on your skin, on your face, on your body, wherever it may be, clothing, that's part of your image. That should be included in it. That should be a part of it. Because we've come to that point where everything is criticized. Everything is, oh, this person shouldn't be wearing this person shouldn't be wearing that. And I'm not getting into that discussion. Any of the, male, female, gender, trans, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not getting into that discussion at all. We will have that discussion. This is just in terms of a lot of, when we talk about image, it's always like, women are always, like I was talking about the clothing thing, the 2 inches, the 3 inches, and the clothes are too short. She's not wearing a scarf. She is wearing a scarf. Her, it's all black. It's all this. And women in Afghanistan are wearing, they're all covered. Oh my God, they're oppressed. And these women are too modern. All of that. If you have an identity, keep that identity as you are, as a part of your image. Keep it. You will come to what you want and who you want to be in your relationship with yourself and with your being, as you are. Don't change that. Don't separate that from your image. That's a part of your image. But in my opinion, it's better to say it's my opinion, or that's how I feel, rather than saying it's my truth. In a court argument, that would be completely vague. Yeah, I mean, and that is the point. That's exactly the point. That, again, as journalists also, we can accept and validate a person's feelings without necessarily saying it's the truth unless it's proven. You're absolutely right. And also, as a journalist, I can, that's the example when people talk about truth and my truth and, feelings. That's the example I tend to give them, that if there is an accident, right, and when we're interviewing people, or any incident, and we're interviewing people to get for research and to get a perspective and to write about it. That incident happened here at this particular point. The incident is right here. Even those 2 people who were part of the incident, or those 4 or 5 people, whoever, are going to have different perspectives. The fact is fact. It's right here at this particular point. That's going to stay right here. So whoever you talk to, they're going to have their opinion, their perspective on what happened. This person standing here is going to tell you what their perspective is. This person, and they're all going to be right. They're not going to be lying to you or giving you a wrong point of view. They're giving you their own point of view. They're going to be giving you their point of view from here. From here, a person watching from here is going to give you their point of view from here, or down. If somebody's down here, they're going to give you their point of view from down here. The truth, the fact, remains right here. And if there are 2 people arguing, this person's going to have their own view of what they think. This person's going to have their own view of what they think. The truth is here, right here at this point. So even for me as a journalist, I'm going to try to be, as unbiased as possible. But if I have any kind of, let's just say it was a, bike and car accident, I'm going to have my own bias against if I owned a bike at some point, or if I had a car accident at some point. I may have even seen it. The accident myself, I might have some bias about it. I'm taught how to not have a bias. I'm taught how to think about it. I'm even taught how to, interpret when people talk about this. So I might still be, so none of it can be considered to be the truth. It can be everybody's own perspective, their opinions, but the truth is what actually happened. So, that fact remains a fact, and everything around it is just people's opinions, people's emotions, people's, perspectives. So it's important to understand that, and it's important to know yourself. Again, we come back to that point. It's important to know yourself, know your identity, and let yourself be you, knowing that there's always that one true thing that you need to connect to. Find that one true thing that you connect to, and just hold on to it. If you can hold on to that one solid thing, everything else just, I'm not going to say will fall into place, because that's not how life works. Things don't just fall into place, but it will become a little bit easier because you'll know who you are. And if things are difficult, then you'll know that you have something to hold on to. You know who you are, and you know who you want to become, and you hold on to that, and everything else is just kind of like, okay, coming along with it. And if it's hard, then go to what you know you want to be, and you know who you want to, grab to. Keep your focus there. And like I said, for me, it's my end game. And for you, it could be whatever you want it to be. So our self-image, make your self-image first, make it strong, make it absolute solid, and then let other people make it for other people. Decide what you want the world to think of you, how you want the world to perceive you. Make that as beautiful, as perfect, as wonderful. Well, there's no perfection, but by perfect, I mean as imperfectly perfect as you want it to be. And then forget about it. Because nobody's ever going to be happy with you 100%. Everybody's going to pick on you. Everybody's going to find things that they don't like about you. If you have your focus, you're good. You're fine. So I've been doing my own research on conversations like these, and I happened to chance on this live stream. How can I reach you to talk more about these topics? Oh yeah, DM us on right here, and you can email me at Mahvish Akhtar, my full name, no space, at FemmeIcon.com. Actually, our website's not working right now, so just DM me here, and or we can get connected. I can give you my email, my phone number, and we can talk. And we can do a talk. We can over here do a live, and we can do whether on my YouTube channel and other places. We can definitely, it would be absolutely wonderful to talk to you and do more of these things and collaborate. Right now we gotta go. It is close to midnight over here, and I know that it's everybody's got things to do Saturday, Sunday, weekend for everyone. I really love your insight. I'm from an African background, but I'm Muslim too, and I'm a woman, so I relate with so many things that this page talks about. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your input, your discussion, the things you've said. It's been so helpful, and it helps so much when somebody's like, communicating and taking interest in talking, because when you're talking and you're just talking basically at your computer screen or your phone, it feels like you're just talking to your phone. But when you have somebody who's in conversation with you, it's so much better. But thank you for all of you for being here, for listening, and to a lot of you who I know are here, and friends and family. And I know that you guys are always here, most of you. And I super, super appreciate you guys. And yeah, this took longer than I was expecting it to, because we had such a nice conversation today with Nasiba, and we will definitely have her on someday soon on some interesting topic. And I will see you guys next time.